It's that time of year again when we have our favorite books of the year, and this is GoodReads we're talking about. Now, GoodReads is a site of Amazon, and it's infested with, of course, the woke mind virus of the rest of traditional publishing. And their choices for science fiction and fantasy are mind-boggling, because if you look at these covers right now, you wouldn't know that any of these are science fiction novels by looking at them. And that's kind of what traditional publishing does. They don't actually signal what they are and just try to trick people into it. I'm going to go over each of these, and I don't know what a lot of them are. We're going to discover with each other just how cringy traditional publishing is in a lot of these instances, and a few of them I do know, and I can actually give you some information on to avoid what GoodReads is recommending rather than actually going with their recommendations. And that's why we need an independent, robust alternative in science fiction and fantasy, which is what we're providing here. Thank you guys for being here. Hit the like and subscribe button. This is your real sci-fi and fantasy news. I don't shill for the corporations. I don't get the access that a lot of these other channels do, and that's why you're here, I hope, and I appreciate you being here. I do my own independent science fiction, and this is a great time to let you know that my Stars Entwined, this is where my space series starts, my whole universe right here. It's 99 cents through the weekend. It starts a trilogy, which is, of course, you can get the whole thing and really support our channel. It builds up really nice. Read the whole trilogy, definitely. But you can get the first book and actually just check it out for 99 cents. Pretty great deal. It's also available on paperback and an audiobook for people who like it that way. And this one is the one that actually spawns my crowdfund that I got going, Valiant Frontiers, so that you can kind of get the background of the universe there. Really good stuff. If you like Babylon 5 and the like, I think you're really going to enjoy this. This is in the description below. Thank you guys for reading. All right, let's take a look at this. I've got both sci-fi and fantasy. This might be a little bit of a longer video because there's a lot to go through and unpack here. Here's I think we've been here before by Susan Krauss, who I've never heard of before. Of course, GoodReads Choice Awards, and with the end of the world predicted, reality bends in an unexpected, quirky, and heartwarming novel. Now, this is a red flag immediately. Whenever you see this word quirky, it means it's going to be a weird romance feminist sort of thing every single time. You don't even have to read it at this point. That word is a destruction of science fiction immediately, and that's it, by the best-selling author of Sorry I Missed You. So let me open up an AI real quick and check into this and go, what genre is Susie known for? Because I've never heard of her. This is not my AI. Let's go to Claude. Hi, Claude. Let's check this out. Gosh, I'm not signed in. Let's go to Perplexity. Okay. Gosh, technical. Let's see. What genre is she known for? Let's see what our AI has to say about this whole situation right here. Primarily known for writing in the genre of fiction that focus includes dystopian, speculative, and magical realism. So not science fiction. You can tell just by looking at her, not a science fiction author. Okay, cool. So that's why she's on here. A bunch of women voted for this, and it's not there. The Dream Hotel. Oh my gosh, what a terrible! These are terrible covers. And by the way, every time you reload it, it moves them over so that you don't have the same ones at the top, I guess, to make the voting more consistent. So go back to The Dream Hotel, a novel about one woman's fight for free. I'm out. That's it. That's all you need to know. Oh my gosh. Let's go to Monsters and Mainframes. This one actually has the most appealing title font because it actually checks things out. Spaceships aren't programmed to seek revenge, but for Dracula, Demeter will make an exception. So again, this is just blending horror and science fiction. And this is what they do. They they want to check out, other genres and then shoehorn them into science fiction every single time. Not sure about this myself. So, all right, that's the best out of the three so far that we've seen. Adrian Tchaikovsky is a real science fiction writer. And so this is probably the only real science fiction, the entire thing right here, an utterly gripping story of an alien encounter and survival from Alien Tchaikovsky, author of the Arthur C. Clarke winning Children of Time. They looked into darkness, and darkness looked back. This, so far, seems to be the only one that you might even consider voting for in a science fiction contest that we've gone through. Let's go to Ashling, I think you pronounce it Ashling Rawl. Here, what's this? This doesn't look sci-fi at all. A novel. Yeah. I've always wondered that. Why do literary types put a novel on a novel when it's obviously a novel? right? It's like, were you under illusion that this wasn't a novel? Did you think it was a DVD by chance or a video game? No, you didn't. So you've got a half-naked dude here staring at a woman in a pool, which gives no indication of any sort of science fiction whatsoever. Lily, a bored beautiful 20-something, wakes up on a remote desert compound alongside 19 other contestants on a reality TV show. Must outlash things for blah, blah, blah. Okay. So this is a survival reality show thing. It's not science fiction. Okay. Easy enough. The poppy fields. Again, this doesn't look like science fiction. Like, what are these covers? And what are these titles? Like, how would you ever know this is the sci-fi genre, allegedly? Remote California desert treatment center that allows those suffering of heartache of loss to sleep through their pain. So this is literally a romance novel. Okay, cool. Gotcha. Next. So far, we've had a pretty bad deal. We got the Book of Lost Hours. Again, this looks like a romantasy by the cover. You can't tell anything of this. Ministry of Time and Midnight. Okay, so enter the time space, a soaring library filled with books. Okay, this is a nerdy girl who wrote this, probably. Specifically made watches, one's passed from father to son, but mostly government hands. This is where 11-year-old Lisavette Levi finds herself, it's always a female, trapped in 1938, waiting for her watchmaker to return the favor for her. When she doesn't, she grows up among the book's inspectors, able to see the world through sifting memories of those who came before her. Government agents entering the time space to destroy books and maintain their preferred version of it. Okay, so this is going to be a anti-conservative feminist nonsense thing as they're destroying books. Oh, no. Oh, geez. We're getting there. I think we've gotten through most of these now. We have not gotten to automatic noodle yet. Oh, gosh. Somebody's food fetishes here. Annalee Newitt. Sci-fi visionary. I've never heard of this person. How's she a sci-fi? While San Francisco rebuilds from the chaos of war, a group of food service bots in an abandoned ghost kitchen take over the delivery app account, rebranding the neighborhood lunch spot, producing some of the tastiest hand-pulled... This is somebody's, like, food fetish. Like, again, not really science. It's got robots. Okay, cool. Not really science fiction. I have been saving some of the best for last here. John Scalzi. Yes. So you might think he's a real science fiction author, but he's not. He is a pretender. And when the moon hits your eye, literally the moon is made of cheese in this. He's out of ideas. That's what it comes down to. This guy wrote a great book with The Old Man's War. And if you like The Old Man's War, I really think you're going to enjoy My Space Opera, by the way. Can't write anymore. I don't know what happened. The guy went crazy or something. So the moon's made of cheese. Give me a break. Okay, and then we have one more. I saved the best for last. Nnedi Okorafor, The Death of the Author. Yes, Wakanda Forever, everybody. The future of storytelling is here. You notice the little blurb on the cover says George R. R. Martin. This one has it all. Yeah, I love those blurbs that like don't tell you anything about it. Like, a triumph. Very different. It's like this one has it all. He didn't read it. That's what it comes to. Of course, he didn't read it. This is pretty funny, and this is going to be a black future feminist nonsense. Nnedi Okorafor is one of those diversity hires that gets hired in science fiction, and that's that. So the only thing going through the top 10, Adrian Tchaikovsky is the only real science fiction writer. That sounds pretty cool. That's it. And the rest of them don't even sound like science fiction. The Book of Lost Hours, I don't know. The rest of them are pretty rough. That's the only option that you have out of all of this for real science fiction. Let's go into fantasy and see what happens here. So we have Brandon Sanderson, Wind and Truth. I call this one Break of Wind because, that means farting. Super woke. Stormlight Archive ruined his entire series by adding a bunch of stuff. I've covered this on the channel before. Disaster. So you have that there. But he sold a lot of books, so of course he's on here. R.F. Kuang here. Dante's Inferno meets Susanna Clark's Piranesi in this dark academia fantasy. Story of a hero's descent into the underworld. That might be cool. Alice Law has only one goal. Of course, it's a woman who's descending into the underworld at this point. Isn't rated all that highly for being one of the books of the year. That's kind of interesting right there. Let's go to The Devils. Joe Abercrombie's a great writer. I haven't read this one. Then things got a little devil imagery. That's not usually for me, but he is a great writer and classic. So, okay, I'll give him that. Look at the rating on Joe Abercrombie compared to the strong female lead goes into the underworld there. Cool. Okay. Alchemy of Secrets by Stephanie Garber. How much you want to bet this one's a romantasy? A novel. They did it again. A novel. Look at these. Every cover, a novel. I'm going to start putting a novel. Should I have put a novel somewhere on this? Like, a novel. Would that have helped you? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This is so ridiculous. Local legends urban is taught by a woman called the Professor. Most students believe the Professor's stories are just fiction, but Holland St. James has always been convinced that magic is real. When she tracks down a local legend named the Watchman, who can supposedly tell you when you'll die, the world finally makes sense, except the Watchman tells her she will die at midnight tomorrow unless she finds an ancient object. Okay, well, it's not a romantasy, but it's another strong female lead. Water Moon. Okay. Again, doesn't quite look like fantasy. It looks just interesting. Samantha Soto Yambao. The backstreet in Tokyo lies like a pawn shop, cozy ramen restaurant. What's with these like food fantasies? You saw the other one like in the Sci-Fi, like, oh, a food delivery service. Okay. Oh, my gosh, painful stuff. This is the absolute state of traditional publishing. I guess I at least haven't found anything like super gay yet. It's pretty tough. The Brandon Sanderson one's pretty gay though. River Has Roots. Again, can't really tell that's a fantasy. Let's see. Edge of Fairy meet two sisters who cannot be separated even in death. Is there anything that stars like a man anymore in fantasy or science fiction? Kind of weird, huh? Isn't that wild? V.E. Schwab is one of those perennial like people who are like propped up by the mainstream industry who is not a very good writer and then tries very hard to be literary. A story about hunger. A story about love. A story about rage. Okay, please clap. Yeah, that's going to be terrible. So we've gone through, we've not seen The Raven Scholar yet. Okay. Antonia Hodgson. This looks like a romantasy again. Here we are. Let Us Fly, The Empire of Orin. 24 years after peace, Best Run the Brusque must end his reign. 7 contenders to replace him. They're exceptional warriors, except one of them. It falls to a strong female lead. Here we are. Emperor's brilliant, idiosyncratic high scholar. But find the trailer before it ends. She must untangle a web of... So idiosyncratic is your next... this is like a synonym for quirky. So... There you go. This is going to be quirky, guys. That's going to be unreadable, is what that means right away. And then I think the last one we got is The Sirens, Amelia Hart. Wow, there's just like a lot of women stuff in here. A story of sisters separated by hundreds of years. That sounds boring. Okay. So in this category, it looks like the only thing you could really vote for just holistically... Oh, we missed one. The Strength of the Few. James... Islington, this highly anticipated To the Will of the Many, best-selling fantasy novels. Okay, and all that's happened, I fear is coming. Okay, so this is in first person, which is kind of YA. I need to find a way to stop the coming cataclysm. This could be all right. I don't know much about this one, but this looks like a fantasy novel on the cover. It looks cool. You see like flying dudes in front of a pyramid. That's a cool cover. And I will give this... benefit of the doubt marks because I don't know anything about that guy. So I'm going to go Joe Abercrombie or this are your only two reasonable options for the fantasy. And of course, then Adrian Zukowski is your only reasonable option. The rest of them are just crap and slop that is being propagated by the mainstream industry. Really tough stuff. Oh my gosh. This is what happens on GoodReads though. Nobody's on GoodReads, and I always try to get our people to just like upvote stuff because it's like it's tough. Like, I mean, you can't even you can't get much going on here generally. And our people don't want to be on here because all this slop's all over. Oh, they do have a full romantasy genre. That's why we didn't see any romantasy. They actually separated it out. Look at that. All the covers of these look exactly like the fantasy covers on the normal fantasy and science fiction. You can't tell the difference. It's really sad. It's like we're a big monolith of just corporate slop is what it comes down to. But let's make a difference, guys. Change things today. The Stars Entwined is where it's at. This is my series. It starts here. Hope you enjoyed it. If you like my thoughts and roasting these GoodReads novels, you'll enjoy this. Hit the like and subscribe button. We'll be back soon.